Hi guys, how are you all today morning? Good morning. Today is 23rd May 2023. My name is TSV Raghavan and I live in Chennai, Tamil Nadu, India. This is my blog on YouTube, my spiritual vlog on YouTube. Haribol TRSV Nectar NECTAR Nectar. In this particular vlog, in all my previous videos, we have been discussing about the knowledge and information that we have gleaned through the study of spiritual books, scriptures, contemplation on the material universe, and meditation on the spiritual universe. This particular video is no exception to that rule. In fact, it is a mere continuation of what we have been doing in all my previous videos in this vlog. Kindly subscribe to this vlog and press the bell icon so that I may keep reminding you of my other videos. So let us continue with the discussion for today. For the past few videos, we have been talking about a very famous English saying, "It is but a step from the sublime to the ridiculous." It means that while it takes a lot of efforts, sweat, pain, and time to climb up the ladder of this world's success or career, it only takes one slip of the step to come down hurtling and get into a bottomless pit and vanish into oblivion for good. We have been discussing several case histories to authenticate this particular saying and to show how true this particular saying is. Today we shall discuss about another such case history which is very important in the sense that it will show you how the high and mighty have fallen. The protagonist of this story is called Chandulal Shah. Let us begin. In the early 20s and 30s of the 20th century, there lived in Lahore, which is now in Pakistan, a very famous and noted Nautch girl called Gohar B. She was not only talented, famous, and beautiful, but she was also quite expensive. Her clientele, her clientele looked like the who is who of the wealthiest and most influential public in that particular city at that time. Almost all those who were interested in listening to her music and seeing her dance were her ardent lovers. One of that One of those ardent lovers was a very young man of whom we will talk later. This Gohar B, because she was so expensive and a wealthy Nautch girl, had a very large setup of musicians, dancers, singers, maidservants, bodyguards, bouncers, etc. One of her closest was this very Mr. Chandulal Shah. Mr. Chandulal Shah was one of her favorite tabla player who used to sit alongside her during her discourses or her recitals in public performances. This man used to play the tabla. Not only that, he was quite personally close to this Gohar B, almost a person who had her ear and was her man Friday. This Chandulal Shah hailed from a place called Saurashtra, which is now in India and which is divided into two parts, part of Maharashtra and complete Gujarat. This Chandulal Shah hailed from Saurashtra. One day, Goharbi, when she was entertaining that young man who was a very wealthy client of hers, that man, in a fit of bonhomie or large-heartedness, told Gohar, I am very much impressed with you. I think I have fallen in love with you. Ask me what I can do for you and try to do that. Gohar B just smiled and told him, I'll tell you when the time comes. At that time, Chandulal Shah was sitting adjacent this lady and he overheard this conversation. He told Gohar B, this is an excellent chance to make money from this person. Gohar B asked him how. This Chandulal Shah told her that this king has a very large piece of land in a place called Dadar in Bombay, which was and still is the commercial capital of the state of Maharashtra. This very Chandulal Shah prevailed upon Gokhar B to ask for that tract of land, saying that he would like to work and construct something in that particular land. This young man, when he was told this by Gohar B, readily agreed. He gave away that piece of land to Gohar B. She in turn passed it on to Chandu Lal Shah. Chandu Lal Shah was not just a man Friday and a tabla player. He was an astute businessman. He took this land and converted it into a studio of sorts for the newly developing film industry of India. This young man was none other than the great grandson of Raja Ranjit Singh of Punjab. Hence, he told Gohar B, whatever you want to construct as a building in this particular land should be named after his illustrious great grandfather. Thus, this particular studio became what is known as Ranjit Studio. Chandulal Shah was given the complete authority to manage this Ranjit studio. Thus began Chandulal Shah's career as a filmmaker, producer, tycoon, and magnate. Very soon, this guy began producing around a dozen films at a time, and he came up in leaps and bounds. Because of his influence, his power, his wealth, etc., this man became somewhat of a demagogue in the film industry. He was a virtual dictator who people ran away from when this guy appeared there in his expensive cars with expensive clothing, etc. Everyone was scared of him and everyone respected him. However, this had taken years of planning, toil, hard work, sweat, and tears. Now, Chandulal Shah was something of a one man industry in the Bollywood of Bombay, India. He was an all in all in his field. He was one of the top stalwarts in the industry of that time. However, as I had mentioned earlier, Nemesis strikes even the most wary transgressor. This Chandulal Shah was so puffed up with his success and his wealth that he began indulging in the stock exchange. Plus, he was also interested in horse racing and gambling. The money that he had made from the film production was squandered away in the stock exchange, horse racing, and gambling. For some time, this guy was making money hand over fist from all his investments and his indulgences. But suddenly, the treasury squeezed and money stopped coming. His films began flopping right, left, and center. Initially, Chandulal Shah was not afraid or worried about this. He had made a lot of money. He continued to indulge in the stock markets, gambling, and horse racing. But very soon, all this money melted away. His films had stopped making money, they were flops. His stock exchange business was a failure, and he had lost literally lakhs or millions in the horse racing and gambling industry. Suddenly, Chandulal Shah found himself at the brink of downfall. This guy looked back for help, but Gohar B was already dead, along with that prince of Punjab, Raja Ranjit Singh's grandson. All the well wishers ran away like rats running out of a sinking ship. This Chandulal Shah was left to stew in his own juice and was left high and dry. His family abandoned him, so much so that this guy had to eke a living by becoming the watchman of the very Ranjit studio that he had once built and which he himself owned. I know this because I know people who have seen this Chandulal Shah standing like a watchman in his very studio. Slowly, this guy lost all his veneer and his fame, name, and notoriety. He was powerless, and people began exploiting him. This was some come down for a man who was once a king in the film industry. Chandulal Shah could not take such an extraordinary and repulsive failure. His heart began giving away. Chandulal Shah had lost everything, including his fleet of expensive cars. Now he commuted on the municipal bus in the town. One day, while he was traveling by this bus or one of those buses, he had a heart attack and died in that bus, with none of the other commuters knowing who he actually was. In fact, his body was taken to the morgue because neither the transport company nor the commuters or the policemen who knew who this guy or this dead man was. After some time, due to the good offices of some people, he was recognized and was saved from getting a pauper's burial. This particular story tells us how indifferent life is to every one of us. There is a Urdu proverb: when a man starts thinking that he is God, God tells him or reminds him that he is just a puppet by pulling his strings. God is indifferent to everyone because he is very kind and loving to everyone. God does not want his children to allow their success to get to their heads. Here, Chandulal Shah had taken a lot of time, effort, perseverance, patience, and hard work to climb up this task of success. But one step from his side, one arrogant move from his side, brought him hurtling down so fast that this guy was at the rock bottom even before he knew what hit him. We should take a lesson from the leaf of life history of this very particular person so that we are careful in our own lives. We should never ever allow our achievements or our successes to go to our head, so much so that we continue to rub other people on the wrong side, knowingly or unknowingly. As has been said in English in other proverbs, the graveyard is full of indispensable men and women because those who thought that they are invincible came to grief sooner or later due to their own doing, undoing, and arrogance. Overconfidence never pays. We must all be humble, live our life carefully and peacefully without rubbing others on the wrong side, go towards self realization, continue in that line till we get liberated from this repeated cycle of births and deaths, and that ultimately get delivered to the Godhead. That should be our aim in life. Kindly let me know what you think of my talk on this particular case history. Please give me your own expert opinions, thoughts, and ideas so that I may blend everything together for the sake of this society. Before concluding, let me remind you that I am also a published author with Amazon Kindle and paperback. I write on spiritualism, fiction, and assorted subjects. Till we meet in my next video, it is good morning from TSV Raghavan